I saved 100K dirham per year and now I want to invest.
Okay.
How can I optimize my return? Where should I invest? Like you mentioned, we need to diversify. How I can create a portfolio and diversify it. And third, which is related to this, how can I identify which money I can take back and which will be locked? So probably we I can divide it again. So just go over that.
So ideally, what you should be doing, that you should be setting a proportion of it,
Hmm.
which I would suggest that 25% should be very liquid, highly liquid. So whensoever you require it, you can take out. What I mean by highly liquid, it could be you could be having it in your bank account, in the savings bank account, or putting in some investment options. Even here we have some investment options which offer quick payback to you whensoever you want to withdraw your money. Then you should have some of the amount you should be investing with a long term perspective where your money is getting logged, maybe 25% again, or maybe for 35%. You can keep it for yourself. I mean, you can decide between yourself, and then balance. Some of it could go to the risk taking ones
Hmm.
where there are dynamic returns, but that should only have a 10 to 15%. That should consist only of 10 to 15% of your portfolio. Then comes about your goal also. If you have some goals, I mean, you want to have a real estate, you might want to have a flat. You may think of saving that through. Now here one more thing comes when we are talking about the loans. That could also be one thing, when you can have a loan and have a fixed EMI towards it. This will also go to the savings only
Hmm.
when you're paying the EMI for your flat. So this could also be one option.
So you're saying invest money that returns passive income and counter it with the EMI that you pay for that
Yes,
house?
yes. I myself do like this. I have a flat. I have bought a flat here in Dubai. I am getting some rent from it, and exactly my EMI is equivalent to the rent.
So I think what he's saying is very interesting. What you brought up for passive income. Let us say you want to make a big purchase, right? You can't always wait 5 years to save money for that big purchase. So let us say you're able to collect some passive income that you get every month. And let's say your EMI for that big purchase also happens to be somewhere close to that passive income that you make. So both get cancelled out every month and you slowly work towards that acquiring journey towards that big purchase, which is very common. A lot
Yeah.
of people do is you have investments and then you also end up having a loan, and the EMIs and the passive income that you have get cancelled out.
So
But
you are having the passive income, and at the same time you are building the wealth.
but what would be the amount of loan compared to your total portfolio, Kasim?
Basically, the banks have their own calculation method for that. That
Hmm.
your net disposable income, they calculate your net disposable income after all your obligations, and out
Hmm.
of that, they give you the 50% of that amount as a loan. Now, where your EMI,
Okay.
your EMI should be 50% of that net disposable income.
Right.
That is what
Right.
the criteria of the banks. But I, being a moderate risk taker, I would prefer to have only 25% of that net income paying as an EMI.
So you are reducing your risk.
Yes,
You're
yes.
reducing your risk. So we were talking about like 25% liquidation, like you have liquidity, 25% you locked, 10 to 15% some mid-level
Some
risky
mid-level or
portfolio or
aggressive
something like that,
approach funds.
and rest.
Rest, as I said, it can go towards your goal, like the EMIs or something.
Hmm.
Or again, you can have them in the moderate risk portfolio, like the metals. They are a moderate risk thing.
I think all of this depends on the appetite of that person, right? Like
Hmm.
it could be 50-50, it could be 25, 25, 25, 25.
Absolutely depend. But what we are talking about, the ideal situation we are talking
Hmm.
about.
Hmm.
Hmm. How about gold? Like you talked about metals, like
Yes.
some gold is less riskier, like if they are
Yes,
opting for that.
absolutely, because it is not going to give a super fluctuation in its value.
Hmm.
There will be only a slight, it could give you a negative return, but those will only be a very minimal negative returns.
Hmm.
It will not something, the entire value would be wiped off. That's why it is not that risky
And I think
investment.
it's also very important to point out when I think Kasim says gold, he doesn't mean jewelry.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely, again.
Right?
So
Or else
why
people are
should
going to
not
go
get
and
happy?
buy, yeah, people are going to go and buy jewelry and say, Kasim said we're going to
That is
invest
a
in.
loss making thing. You are paying the hell lot of charges in the makeup charges and
Right.
everything.